Okay, let's get started. I hope you all brought some treats with you because our first item on the agenda is to welcome our new Horsham Township Police Department K-9 by the name of Mac. Chief, you want to get us going on this?
Sure. Yes, so as you said, we are adding a new member to our K-9 unit, but it's a little bit different than what you'd probably expect. Mac is a 2-year-old retriever mix, and he's trained not in detecting bombs, not in detecting narcotics, not in chasing bad guys and biting them, but he's trained in electronic detection. And I'll, in a minute, bring Detective Nago, his handler, up here, who can explain all that way better than I can. But we're awfully excited. He comes from us from the Jordan Canine Detection Agency, so it's a company that trains dogs in this specific expertise, and he is 1 out of 119 in the world here in Horsham. So, again, so I'll call up Detective Kim Nago, his human and handler, and she can explain what he does much, much better than me.
Come. So like Chief Vida said, this is Detective K-9 Mac. I'm Detective Kim Nago. I just got back mid-August from training in Indiana with Jordan Detection K-9, where he was already trained, and they basically trained me on how to work Mac. So he can find SD cards, flash drives, cell phones, iPads, hidden cameras, and he will mostly be used for search warrants where someone's suspected of being in possession of child pornography. So after detectives go in and we search the house, Detective Mac will go in and he will search the room to see if there's anything hidden that we missed, and then we can use what he finds to help prosecute the suspect.
So Mac has a busy week this week. So I think I shared this with you in executive session. So the first day after he graduated, they were still in Indianapolis, and they used Mac and Kim for a search warrant out there. So before he was even back here home in Horsham, he was working, and he has 2 search warrants this week. Thankfully not here in Horsham, but he works regionally through the Homeland Security Task Force and the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, both of which Detective Nago is a member of. So I think we're going to Philly, and where are we going? Somewhere in Quakertown this week. So if you see Mac in public, as you can see, he loves being petted. Just can't feed him. That's his motivation to work. So that's how we get him to do things. Does anybody have any questions? Because I know I had a lot when they came to me with this idea. The one we get most is, how does he know there's bad stuff on the hard drive or the phone? And he doesn't. He's just trained to smell the chemical that is on pretty much every electronic made in the silicon. But any questions?
You answered a lot of them when we talked last time.
I usually leave people with more questions than answers.
Yeah, feel free to say hi to him if you guys see us in public. He loves people.
Just be careful, he's ferocious.
Yeah.
And he was first trained as an assistant dog. So big people with disabilities, he was trained to help individuals with disabilities, but he failed out probably because he's a big scaredy cat. So he was scared of cars and wheelchairs, but now he's past all that. But so yeah, he's first trained as a therapy dog, and now he's doing scent detection.
So how long of training did it take for him to get to this point, and how involved were you in that training?
Well, the owner of Jordan Detection K-9, Todd Jordan, he trained Mac. I think he was at the training facility for 6 months. So he worked on the scent detection for 6 months. And then when he was all good on that, then they decided he's ready for a handler. And I was in a class with 12 other handlers with dogs from all over the country and the world, actually. So yeah, he trained for 6 months, and then they trained me for 2 weeks.
So 1 out of 119, you said, in the world. That's pretty impressive. And we're lucky to have him. So congratulations, and welcome aboard, Mac.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for the dog or Detective Nago?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Don't go anywhere, we're going to get some quick pictures with you.
One, two, three. Good. Relax.
Like I'm comfortable here.
Okey dokey. Now, council will call to order a hearing on a conditional use application filed by the Horsham Meeting Friends at 500 Easton Road. In 2004, when the Naval Air Station was active, the applicant filed a conditional use application to allow a detention basin in the Riparian Corridor Conservation District. Council granted that relief, but, at the request of the Navy, imposed a condition that the original meeting house be used only for weekly services. The reason for this restriction was the Navy's reluctance to have a school located in the crash zone of the airbase. Since that time, the Naval Air Station stopped operating, and the applicants would like to use the original meeting house as a school. The application before us seeks removal of the 2004 condition restricting the use of the meeting house. Notice of tonight's hearing on the application was published as required by law, and it would be appropriate at this point for Mr. Goodale Walker to enter into the record those documents relating to the filing of the application and the public notice of the application. Bill, you want to take over from there?
Sure. Camera. Township Exhibits, T-1 is the conditional use application dated June 28th, 2023. Exhibit T-2 is a letter from Duffy North Attorneys at Law, further explaining the zoning hearing board application dated July 13th, 2023. Exhibit T-3 is the adjudication, originally from, let's get the date, September 8th, 2004. Exhibit 2-T-4 is the amendment and clarification of the adjudication dated January 24th, 2005. Exhibit T-5 is the floor layout plan of the meeting house, the Friends Meeting House first floor plan. Exhibit T-6 are a group of photos of the area, exterior and interior of the Friends Meeting House. Let's see. Exhibit T-7 is Resolution 2023-22, when Horsham Township Council approved the public hearing for tonight's conditional use hearing. That resolution is dated July 24th, 2023. Exhibit T-8 is my letter to the Township Planning Commission asking them to review the conditional use application. Exhibit T-9 is the letter from myself to all the residents 500 feet in a 500 feet radius of the Friends Meeting House of tonight's hearing. Exhibit T-10 is the legal notice. Exhibit T-11 is the proof of publication of the legal notice. Exhibit T-12 is the Township Engineer Gilmore and Associates review letter. Exhibit T-13 is the Township Land Planner review letter, Van Reeker. Exhibit T-14 is the Montgomery County Planning Commission review letter. And Exhibit T-15 are the Horsham Township Planning Commission meeting minutes of August 1st, 2023, where they reviewed the application and recommended the conditional use approval.
Okay. So if any person present this evening would like to have party status in this matter, it is necessary to let us know now. Party status can be granted if you live close enough to the property to be aggrieved by the use proposed. Persons with party status may cross-examine the applicant's witnesses and may present witnesses of their own. Only a party may appeal the decision of council in this matter. If you do not request party status, you will still have an opportunity to express your opinion and tell council whether you would like to see this application granted or denied. Is there anyone present who would like party status? Seeing any, I'd like to take this opportunity to remind those of you here tonight that this hearing is being transcribed by a court reporter. Therefore, it is necessary that you not speak unless recognized by counsel. That includes a dog. If you do speak, please give your name and address prior to making any comments so that the record attributes your remarks properly. I note that Attorney Joshua Gantz is present this evening on behalf of the applicant. Mr. Gantz, please proceed with your statement.
Good evening. My name is Joshua Gans. I'm from the law firm of Duffy North in Hatboro. I appreciate everybody's time this evening. It's nice following a dog because everybody's in a good mood, so this should go swimmingly. As a matter of procedure, I would offer that I will make an offer of proof this evening and present everything that we have in summary form, and then my witnesses can be sworn in, or they can be sworn in now, and then we'll affirm that what I have said is accurate and true, and what they would have otherwise testified to, if that's okay with counsel.
So everyone knows, sorry, that our township solicitor is with us this evening, but by telephone, not in person, and so she is going to respond to you.
Mary, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's the right way to proceed in this case.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate it. As was briefly introduced by Mr. McCouch, the U.S. Navy had prepared an air installation compatible use zone study delineating the areas of the township which were likely to be impacted by noise and accident potential of the nearby Navy base and airfield. That study was prepared in 1977 and updated in 1999. And it was recommended uses which were compatible with the zones which were most likely to be impacted by the noise and accident potential of the Navy base. This property, 500 Easton Road, in part is located in both AICUZ Accident Zone 1 and Noise Zone 1. In about 2004, the property was the subject of a land development plan before this township for the construction of a beautiful new school building on the property. Following completion of the new school, all school operations were moved from the original meeting house to the new building. On June 16, 2004, the Quaker School at Horsham, which was the tenant and continues to be the tenant of the Horsham Meeting of Friends, filed an application requesting conditional use approval to allow a portion of the detention basin to extend into Zone 2 of the Horsham Township Riparian Corridor Conservation District. At that hearing, the Navy testified that it was not in favor of construction of a school in any part of the noise or accident zones. On September 4th, 2004, Council granted the conditional use application. However, Council placed restrictions on the use of buildings on both properties, including the original meeting house. Specifically, use of the meeting house was limited to Sunday school and weekly worship. Future use of the meeting house as a school area was completely restricted. And the sole justification for the restrictions was the location of schools in the AICUZ area. And the airbase was officially closed, as you know, on September 15th, 2011. As such, the sole condition limiting the continued use of the original Quaker meeting house has been rendered moot. Horsham Meeting of Friends is here today and has put an application in respectfully requesting that the use restrictions be lifted on the original Quaker meeting house and that any permitted use under the township code be permitted. You have before you both the adjudication that was entered into the record as T3. You also have the amendment to that adjudication, which is T4. In T4, it specifically states what I had alluded to before, which is number 4, the applicant shall locate no new or expanded uses in buildings currently used by the school, and future use of those buildings shall be limited to Sunday school and weekly worship. That's the condition that we asked to be removed today. This has nothing to do with the detention basin or any of the other conditions that were installed as part of the adjudication back originally. You have before you a prepared floor plan and some pictures of the intended space. And therefore, we are asking at this point that that conditional use be lifted. I have with me today Mr. Frank Jarrett and also Alex Brasowski of the Quaker School of Horsham, who would otherwise testify to what I have just prepared for you. And I'm certainly ready and willing to answer any questions, and as they are as well. So I tried to keep it short and sweet. Hopefully, I included everything that the commission needs.
I don't have any real questions. I know that obviously there's several of us were here back then when all that took place, so understand things have changed, the airbase is closed, and the Quaker School does need room to expand, so we do understand that. Does anybody have any questions on council? Anybody in the audience have any questions? Okay.
Mark?
Yes, Mary?
I didn't hear him swear the witnesses.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you, Mary. That's what I was about to do.
Thanks,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Will you raise your right hand, please? Just swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
And can you just state and spell your names?
Alex, A-L-E-X, Brasowski, B-R-O-S-O-W-S-K-Y.
Frank, F-R-A-N-K, Jarrett, J-A-R-R-E-T-T.
And I'll briefly ask Mr. Brasowski, do you affirm that if you were to testify today, that the information that you would provide would be consistent with what I recited just a bit earlier?
Yes, I affirm.
And Mr. Jarrett, do you affirm that if you were to testify today, that the information that I provided just a little while ago would be true and accurate and what you would testify to?
I would affirm.
Thank you. Mary, Ms. Everly, anything else that I have not included?
No, as long as the public and council have a chance to ask questions, no.
Hey, Mary, so the next step is you have to prepare documents for this?
Right, council has 45 days to render a decision of this matter, and I would expect that the decision will be rendered in September, probably at the September 11th meeting. So anytime you want, if there's been public comment, anytime you want to close the hearing is fine.
I would make a motion to, well, I guess the exhibits have already been entered in because I haven't had any additional, so I'll keep my mouth.
Good?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so this hearing is now closed, and council will render a decision at its September 11th meeting. Bill? Very much.
Thank you very much. That's out of the abundance of
Yeah,
caution.
you can
I've
go home.
forgotten to do that before you walk away.
Yeah, no
It'd
worries.
be September 13th is
13th?
your next meeting.
Oh,
Wednesday, September 13th.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
All right, so we're going to call the regular meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. The pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okey dokey. So the first item is opportunity questions or comments from the public. Anybody? Sir, right up to the microphone if you would.
We need your name and address when you get up there.
John Kilcoyne, 2143 George's Lane.
Move a little closer to the mic, please.
John Kilcoyne.
You have to get right up to the mic. unfortunately. There you go.
2143 Georges Lane in Warrington. Although I don't live in the township, I work at United Parcel. I'm here to talk about traffic lights that are not working correctly. I travel in at 2:30 in the morning, and I should all have green lights coming down to get to work. There's 6 that are not working correctly. 3 of those 6 have been out for over a year, not working correctly. They're caught in a default loop, red, yellow, green, red, sometimes 2 or 3 times a minute. I spoke to Mary just a month ago across the hall, and she was going to transfer my name and number to, I think his name is John, in charge of roads. I never got a call back. I first came to his attention over a year ago, spring of 2022, about these same 3 lights. They're still not working correctly. I was hoping the chief of police might offer his officers on routine service, routine work to maybe identify traffic lights that aren't working correctly. The 3 new ones that aren't working correctly are 611 at County Line, 611 at Maple Avenue Upper, right by Lancers. I guess it was the 2 new ones. So there's 5 total that's not working correctly. The one on County Line Road, 611 at County Line, this 611 traffic is a long duration for a red light. It's amazingly long at 2:30 in the morning, and a short green light. So it's really off-key. It's really, but the one at 611 and Maple Upper, I've seen a police officer sitting at Lancers facing that direction, that intersection, and for him to see that light turn like that and not report it. So I'm asking now for the chief's help for something like that in the future. But again, the 3 on Drescher Road alone, Drescher at 611, Drescher at Horsham Road, and Drescher at Gibraltar, they're all caught in a default loop. They shouldn't be turning red on me. So I've been a UPS employee for 36 years. I've been driving Drescher Road for that much time. And for this past 18 months, 16 months, it's been off kilter. So whatever you can do.
Yeah, if you can,
Again, Mary, I gave my number and name to Mary about a month ago.
just in case, could
We
you,
have spoken before, Bill. You probably don't remember, and you did help me for another traffic light.
Okay.
That was years ago. Why other people aren't speaking up about these traffic lights that don't work is beyond me. Just as a side note, these trucks heading up north on 611, getting stuck at Maple Avenue and 611 on that hill, it's just a drain, to sit at a red light at 2:30 in the morning for no reason. So 611 at Maple Upper and 611 at County Line right now.
yeah, could you give your phone number to Dennis?
I would love to.
So we can follow up and get back to you.
Thank you.
611 and County Line's not our traffic signal.
Is it Warrington's then?
Yes.
All right. I'll have to speak to them then. All right, thanks.
Anybody else? Right, so next is,
Got one in the back.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Come on up to the mic. Name and address for the minutes, please.
Hello, my name is Mary Lou Stitt. I live at 214 Garden Avenue, Horsham. I'm here to tell you that Denton School construction is, they're not living up to their promise of controlling the environment with the dust and everything. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I was hospitalized at the end of June with basically pneumonia caused by all the dust. I do have an autoimmune disease. I've been opposed to this school going up. However, it's, they got their way. However, they did promise us that they would control the dust situation. And obviously it wasn't controlled because I ended up in the hospital for 3 days because of it. They kept saying in the hospital, what's changed? I said, nothing's changed in my household. It's what's changed in your community that's close to you. I said, well, they're putting up the new school. And they said that where the pneumonia was in my lungs is more from environmental than it was bacterial. Now, I've been playing phone tag with Mr. Stone. However, I now have to wear a mask in the house, which I can't do right now because like every time I put it on, my grandson is 2. He doesn't understand why. He understands outside the house now, but he doesn't understand within. It's been medically determined that I should have air purifiers, which means I would definitely have to close up the house, not have any windows open, and use the purifiers. I'm willing to concede to that much. However, I think the school board or people who are doing this construction should pay for the air purifiers that I need to breathe. The total that I found is $650 and will take place. That's 5 air purifiers for the first floor. My knees are not that healthy anymore to go upstairs, so I'm not concerned about the rooms upstairs. I just stay on the first floor, and that's 5 rooms. I have the right to breathe, and I have the right to be comfortable. Like I said, I enjoy the windows open with the breeze coming in, but no, that's detrimental to me. It's been strongly recommended, and a note saying that I should have an air purifier to help me breathe in the house. I know there's nothing you can do outside. So when I'm out in my backyard playing with my young grandson, who's 2, I have to wear a mask until I'm out of construction area site. I respectfully do not understand why, they are not living up to their part of the contract, where they assured us citizens, us neighbors, that they would control it. Like I said, I've been openly opposed to this school going up. I lost. I did not have $100,000 put down for an attorney to follow up on it, and neither did my neighbors. However, like I said in the beginning, I have an autoimmune disease. This has affected my health greatly. Now, since 2015, I have been on Social Security disability because I can no longer work because of my autoimmune disease. So I worked from 1999 to 2015 until my body says I can't do it anymore. I was a registered nurse for 36 years. So with that said, I honestly feel that the school district should pay for the air purifiers. They got what they wanted. They got the new schools going up, yet they are not controlling the neighborhood or the dust going in. So, I'm asking for help with this matter. I cannot afford $650. I live at month to month on my Social Security disability and my stipend retirement pay for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. When I went into school administration board, I asked them, who does the company report to in the school district or council as to whether they're meeting their goals? Who is the one overseeing that they're doing this work? Nobody could give me an answer in the school administration who Jamie reports to in the school administration building. I just said, no one's responsible to see if they're holding their hands of the bargain. No. My question to you is, why not? If you're a private company doing your work, is there somebody who should be saying, like John Doe, saying, oh, I see you're supposed to have this up by now and you don't? Is there a problem? And they said, just no. They did not say, the school administration building said that there was nobody that they knew of who they report to as to the work going up or if they're meeting requirements. Now, when I spoke to Jamie, he's apparently the big overseer of it. He says, well, I'm doing a good job. We do Upland, Cedar, and Meeting House. Queen, everybody's happy that we're doing those 3 roads. I said, well, that's fine. I said, but I'm on Garden Avenue. Well, I am within 500 yards of the school. He goes, well, we didn't think that you needed it. Well, there you go, but I do. So with that said, I found it also interesting is that he said Upland, Cedar, and Meeting House. But what about Milton Avenue? He didn't say they were keeping things clean for Milton Avenue, and that's directly right smack up to where they're doing the construction. I thought that was strange. Arundel also they're not doing. I thought that was strange too. However, what I'm asking for now is, like I said, I'm willing to close up the house and use air purifiers in my house because I do not want to go back into the hospital. This time being in the hospital, it is a lot longer for me taking to get over the illness. And plus with the treatment, that's throwing my rheumatoid arthritis is back under control. So yes, it is all because of the construction that's going there. Thank you very much for hearing it. I don't know where to go to next.
Well, so first of all, thank you for your comments, and you have our sympathies on your, what's going on with your health. As a township, we don't have any control over the school district and how they operate. However, we do have outreach.
Yeah, I can give the superintendent a call that you were here this evening and what your issues are and bring it to his attention.
All I'm asking for is the right to breathe comfortably. That's all I'm asking. Everybody here is very nicely, I'm the one who's ended up in the hospital for 3 days. And then on decreasing steroids and antibiotics. However, like I said, it's taken me longer to get over them. When I finally finished the antibiotics and the steroids from the hospital stay, I had a rebound effect, and it started my rheumatoid arthritis into full bloom. So now I have to go around on another round of steroids. This is not the way to live my life, nor should be expected to live it that way.
What I'm going to do is ask Bill to reach out to the district. You can go a little higher than what she's been able to do, and see if we can get this resolved for you. And then if you...
I cannot afford the $650. I'll be honest with you, I can't. But they won the school. And yes, I am very actively opposed to the school. But they caused the problem, not me. All I'm asking is the right to breathe comfortably and not worry if the next breath is going to be not able to. That's a hell of an experience. Thinking that, as you're trying to breathe, is this going to be your last time?
I would just ask if you give your information to Bill, and he'll reach out to them, and he'll reach out to you afterwards, and hopefully the school can reach out and try to resolve this issue for you.
Thank you.
So if you would, if you want to step up here real quick and just pass your information. Anybody else? Okay. Next is just an announcement of the 26th session of the Horsham and Hatboro Police Department Citizen Police Academy, starting September 12th to November 21st of this year. Applications are due no later than September 5th, so all that are interested are encouraged to join.
Want to say anything else, Chief?
Next is the approval of checks, Bill.
Yeah, just to bring to your attention is in the list of checks this evening is round 4 of our Hurricane Ida Relief Fund. So round 4 totals $46,479, and that is helping 10 residential residents and 5 businesses. So through the 4 rounds that we've had to date, 134 residents have been helped. 7 businesses have been helped for a total of $405,841.96. So again, those round 4 checks are in your checklist this evening.
We have a motion.
I move to approve the list of checks in all funds in the amount of $1,019,791.75, and further move to authorize payment as same.
Second. Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is a request for a waiver of land development from Pennypack Farms.
You all know Pennypack Farm, and they're coming up to the table to present their request of a waiver of land development for a pole barn. I'm not going to take a lot of time because they'll just repeat what I say about their application. So I'll let them introduce themselves and get started with the presentation of their request.
Great. Thanks. There we go. Come through better. My name is Mike Crotty. I'm the attorney for Pennypack Farm. Next to me on my right is Julie McCabe, our executive director. And then to her right is Bob Jordan, our engineer. And in the audience, of course, we have several of our other board members as well as members of the town, residents of the township who use our service. I'll turn it over to Julie to give kind of a big picture overview of what Pennypack does, and then she'll turn it back to me to kind of walk through our particular waiver request, if that's okay.
And whenever any of you need me to pull one of your things up to put it on the screen, just let me know which one you want up.
Yeah, and Bill, I've got hard copies if the council needs them as well.
They have it all, they're paperless unless they want
Okay, perfect.
paper.
Good.
Hello, everyone. My name is Julie McCabe. I am the Executive Director of Pennypack Farm and Education Center. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we've been leasing our land from the College Settlement of Philadelphia, also in Horsham, since 2003. So we've been farming using organic and sustainable methods in Horsham for 20 years now. Our mission is to make sustainable agriculture an important part of the community, and we do this through growing, giving, and teaching. We're growing in Horsham on 13 acres of this property, and we are maximizing the land with regenerative agricultural practices. Last year, we grew about 150,000 pounds of vegetables with just 8 farmers and many volunteers. One of the programs that we're pretty much known for in the community is a CSA, which stands for Community Supported Agriculture. The community members purchase a summer or winter vegetable share, and they support our organization through the entire season, picking up their vegetables on a weekly basis. These farm members are connected to the land from which their food grows, and many have been part of the farm for over a decade or even more. This year, we had an 88% retention rate from the year prior, and we've had a growing wait list for our CSA program since the pandemic. One of the other programs we're most proud of is our produce giving program, for which we have many hunger relief partners, including St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry in Horsham, as well as many other food cupboards in the local community. Last year, we gave 25,000 pounds of fresh produce directly from our farm to those partners using volunteer power. We've had this long-standing relationship with College Settlement since the full duration we've been on the land. And we're very grateful to the Horsham Township Council for their partnership and financial support in the agricultural easement of the land recently approved. The children from College Settlement's programs are able to walk over from their camp to the farm as part of their camp or outdoor school experiences, and they learn where their food comes from. It's a wonderful collaboration between these two Horsham nonprofit organizations. The project we're presenting tonight for a pole barn is essential for our organization, and that will be to house our important farm equipment. The pole barn will ensure that the investments that we make in our vehicles and equipment are protected and have longevity. Thank you.
Great, and Bill, if you could pull up the plan set, that's probably the best way to give everyone a visual of what we're presenting and proposing. So this is a plan that shows a good portion of the property. I think we have about total 31 acres or so in the aggregate for this property. The only thing we're asking is an accessory building, ag building, that's shown all the way on the right. This doesn't show the full scope of the property because it would take a lot more engineering dollars to do that. The building we're proposing is only to store our ag equipment. Right now, we've kind of in that area, we have kind of a hodgepodge of little buildings that are about 1,000 square feet. This would take us up to 2,160. And it would allow us, our existing, we can house about 2 pieces of equipment. With the expansion, we'll be able to put about 4 to 5 pieces of equipment. That's really important from our perspective because as we invest in new equipment, we can't have it sitting outside because obviously it degrades and erodes at a much quicker clip. In addition to the building, and I'll walk through what that looks like in a sec, we have stormwater management that's going to go along with it, and that's been reviewed by the Township Engineer's Office. And we've also proposed a row of about, I think it's 10 Norway spruces on the north side, as it's shown there, of the building. We're over 140 feet away from the road, and even between us, the new Norway spruces we're putting in, and the road, there's also an existing hedgerow. This building itself is not going to change anything else we do operationally. It's not going to be used for the public. There's not going to be public water or sewer there. It's solely to house our additional equipment. So that's the reason why we're requesting the waiver request. from the township.
Questions? It sounds pretty simple. Bill, do you have anything to add?
No, this is just to share for members of the audience, but most of the audience are familiar with these buildings. But this is the existing building that they have now that Mike had talked about. It needs to be replaced, so. What can I say?
We have a mock-up rendering of what the new one will look like, which will look very nice.
Yep, and this is a satellite photo of where it will be located on the farm. This is Man Road over here. This is the parking lot for the farm down here. And I see. So that's the pictures you just were shown of what exists out there today. And and then of course the pole barn. That's sort of the rendering of what the new pole barn would look like. So you would demolish everything there and replace it with this?
That's correct, Bill.
Okay.
Yep.
And would you agree, Mike, you made a comment that this is not for the public, this is strictly for storage of your equipment, material, tools for the farm. Would you agree to a condition that this is not for public use?
Absolutely. The only humans that would be in that FIS's area would be the farm staff.
And your volunteers, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the conditions, Mary, can you still hear me?
I can. I guess the only thing else to add is that they'll pay any costs and inspection fees incurred by the township.
And I believe we've already executed the professional services agreement form, and it's on file with the township.
Yeah, so-
Okay, but this will go in the resolution as well.
So the conditions would be the stormwater management that the township engineer has approved, the landscaping that our landscape architect approves, and no public use, and pay whatever necessary fees that have to be paid.
Mary, you going to draw all that up?
I will do that.
So sounds like a no-brainer from this end of the table? September 13th? So we'd be ready for September 13th?
Great. Thanks
Okay.
very much for your time.
Very well. Have a good night. All right, next we have some zoning hearing board applications.
You have 4 zoning hearing board applications this evening. Your first one is 233 Cottage Avenue. Anyone out there for 233 Cottage? No. Okay, so 233 Cottage is in our R5 residential zoning district. And what has been, R5 allows duplexes, twins, some people call them twins, duplexes. And we have a house at 233 Cottage that is up for sale or is going for sale, will be put up for sale, and it has been found that there are 3 units on the property, when R5 does not allow that. So the staff would recommend that you be neutral. All 3 units are occupied. It is nothing new. It's been there for decades. We just never knew about it because they did not come in for permits. So our recommendation would be to be neutral and for, to require that one of the 3 units are owner occupied. It's going up for sale. That the 3rd apartment that we never knew about and got no permits is inspected and brought up to any necessary construction, plumbing, electrical, fire codes, and that the owner registers the rental units under our rental tenant or residential rental inspection program.
What was the second condition, Bill?
That the third unit that we did not know about is fully inspected by our building inspector and fire marshal and brought up to any necessary codes that it doesn't meet.
Thank you.
So, Mary, Can the house be sold before this happens, or would it fall on the person purchasing the property?
I think the zoning hearing board can impose a condition notwithstanding any other statute that before the relief fully goes into effect, these inspections have to take place.
We make that a condition, or can we make that a condition?
We will make that a condition.
Anybody else have any questions about that one? Okay, next one is Davis Grove.
Davis Grove Road is 1007 Davis Grove Road in our R2 residential district. Anyone from 1007 Davis Grove Road. So this, as I said, is in our R2 zoning district. There is a lot request going on here. The major request is a use variance. What the property owner wants to do is construct a pole barn, garage, and in-law suite, install a 6-foot high fence in the front and side yards, use the property, which is in our R2 residential, for a contracting, landscaping, and agriculture business. So in order to do that, the property owner needs variances. As I mentioned, the biggest one, the major one, is a use variance. He needs a variance for a 100-foot setback from any property line requirement for agriculture use, keeping of livestock and poultry. He needs a variance relating to permitted accessory uses in the R2 district. He needs a variance prohibiting permanent structures, including fences in the riparian corridor. He also, part of the use is a pig farm in the R2 zoning district. So as you can see in the legal notice, it's basically 3/4 of a page that they need or seeking relief on. The staff recommendation is to be opposed to this application and send the township solicitor to the hearing.
Certainly after hearing that would agree with you. Everybody good with that? Mary, you're good?
I'm good.
Okay, you got your marching orders. Next is 1339 Stony River Drive.
1339 is in our R2 zoning district. The application is to add an addition onto the house. So the variance needed would be a rear yard setback. Right now, 58 feet currently exists, where a minimum of 60 feet is required. With this new addition, their rear yard would go to 50.33 feet. The staff recommendation is neutral with no conditions.
Ready to go with that? Okay. Next is 1294 Bywood Lane.
Their attorney, Kristen Pianzio, is here to present their application.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here with Bob Jordan from Woodrow & Associates. We saw you here earlier in the year for this same property. I do have some slides. There was an approval for the subdivision of this property back in 2000 into a 3-lot subdivision. This is that plan. This plan, I don't have my laser. Do you guys have a laser pointer?
The engineer usually, oh, Bob, sorry. Don't steal it, Kristen.
This is a good one. This plan included a transfer of land from this lot, where is it? Here, this land, this would be the new property line where this property was giving this lot 1. So we're talking about lot 1, lot 2, lot 3. This is the land that we're talking about. This is the neighbor. The estate was going to transfer land to effectuate this plan. It never happened. It went through, if you remember, it got zoning hearing board relief, it got preliminary plan approval and final approval, and it just died. So years went by, our client came in and did a 2-lot plan because they weren't able to work something out with this owner. And we got approval from the zoning hearing board. We were back in the beginning of this year in front of you with that plan. Since that time, if we could go to the colored plan. We entered into a land swap agreement with the estate. nudge it down a little. Oh, very good. So the estate is going to give us this land here to make this Lot 3 better. Basically, we're here for the same zoning relief as 2000. It's 2 flag lots side by side. The flag lots are under your minimum of 5 acres, and we're here for the same side yard variance. But the plan has gotten better because we were able to swap this land. So by the estate giving us this land here, we're able to move the building up and have much more of a backyard. The plan in 2000 had the house right on this line. So we have more open space in the back, more room for stormwater management, and we in turn are giving them this land. Part of this, their driveway is on my client's property, so we can fix that with doing this land swap as well. So it's the same 3 lots, same zoning relief, but better plan. Lot 1 got a little smaller, and these lots are about 20,000 square feet larger than they were in 2000. So one of the conditions that you asked to attach when we went to the zoning hearing board earlier this year is that the 2 flag lots share a driveway and 1 curb cut onto the road. The words you guys used was Stong's Lane, but when we went to the zoning hearing board, we think it would be Bywood where that shared access is. The zoning hearing board attached a condition to our approval that said that we'd work out the location of this shared driveway during land development so that you guys can have the final look as to where that's located. So that's it. We're asking for you to remain neutral, and we would accept that condition about the shared driveway once again.
Okay, with it, Bill?
Okay, great.
Good to go.
Have a good night.
You too. Okay, next is a change order for excavating and paving for Whitmer Road.
I'll let Dennis Haggerty take this is his project.
This is for the Whitmer Road retrofit, the basin that you guys were out to and were inspecting. When you're out there, you kind of saw the one outflow pipe had a bit of erosion to it. So that was from a big storm. So instead of doing it again and just repairing it, we decided to go back to the drawing board and kind of upgrade a little bit and fix it once in a final time. So what they're going to do is they're going to add some more stone, some bigger stone, and kind of redo the different type of soil that is there, and also the trench that goes down into the middle of the basin. So it's a quick, easy fix, a one-time fix instead of keep going back and having an issue.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I move to authorize change order 1 in the amount of $14,000 to the James R. Kenny Excavating and Paving, Inc., contract for Whitman Road Basin improvements.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Just another thing, that $14,000 is covered by the state grant.
Even better. Okay, next is a cooperation agreement with the Horsham Soccer Association.
Speaking of state grants, as you know, the Soccer Association has completed their turf field project, and they got a couple state grants for it. One of them being is for $149,600. That was through the Department of Community and Economic Development Local Share Account statewide grant program. And the project under that grant is called the Kohler Park Improvement Project, which is the turf field. The Soccer Association did the project. They have all the bills. Nothing came to the township. However, for that grant program, that specific grant program, DCED, only allows the municipality to sign the grant contract. So what you have in front of you this evening is a cooperation agreement. By the way, this was supplied to us by DCED. They were fully aware of what's happening. So what we're doing is transferring the project administration to the Horsham Soccer Association, who will then submit all the documentation, submit all the paperwork, submit all the invoices to the state, and then they will get the reimbursement from the state for the bills. And that's basically what the agreement says.
All right, sounds pretty simple. Do we have a motion?
I move to authorize the cooperation agreement designing the Horsham Soccer Association as the township's project administrator for the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Local Share Account statewide grant for the Kohler Park Improvements Project.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is a bid. We need to solicit for a bid.
So another bid, I'm always happy because of everything that we had to go through to get to going out to bid. But this is the traffic signal at Easton Road and Moreland Road. As you're aware of, it's more than just a traffic signal. It's a intersection reconstruction project with the traffic signal. So that Moreland comes out on a very hard angle. This will straighten it out, so it's a four-way intersection without an angle, and also line up the intersection for the future road through the base. So that's in the planning stage too. But finally, we have PennDOT's approvals, and we're ready to go to bid.
We have a motion.
Move to authorize the solicitation of bids for the signalization at Easton Road and Westmoreland Avenue project, and further authorize advertisement of the same.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And then finally, we have a resolution for a public hearing.
This is for a public hearing, and it's a conditional use application. So it's a single-family home existing that's on Limekill Pike, 1025 Limekill Pike. It's in the southbound lane between McKean Road and Tennis Avenue, and they would like to hook up to public sewer, but they have to cross a little tributary to get the pipe to the house. They have a failing septic system, and they no longer want to maintain or replace, so they'd like to hook to the public system. So this is almost like a routine that you normally do, so that's what the hearing would be about.
We have a motion.
I move to adopt the resolution as proposed, establishing a time and place for a public hearing on the Strategic Asset Holding Incorporated 1025 Limekill Pike conditional use application, Wednesday, October 11th, 2023, at 8 p.m. in the Horsham Township Municipal Building.
Second.
Moved in second, this is a roll call.
Mr. Chaudry, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Harmon, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Wade, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
And Mr. McCouch, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Hey, with nothing else being on the agenda this evening, I will adjourn the meeting. Good night, everyone.